It's the quality of the people we can start with, and then start going after more and more quality people. Obviously, we're all victims here. I'm a victim of helping out an innocent man that was in jail. A man that was reaching out to me who I never even met in my life. And what did I do? I did the right thing. I was following biblical law, the common law, the simplest, most basic, humane things to do to somebody incarcerated with 4 children. And I became a target, and they destroyed my life. But I'm a survivor, and I have no problems. Terrence Healy and I met up 2 years ago. We broke their code to their 1.6 in professional conduct. But the bottom line is this whole thing is, and one of the most craziest things in my head when I met Terrence, when we were actually counter surveilling, the FBI following us. The investigators that were following us, we had the same people tailing us and tagging us, and we knew what was going on. But what we were able to come up with is there's one common element, and there was one common element that actually infiltrated all 3 separations of power in all of our checks and balances. And that person can only be one person or one organization called the American Bar Association. They literally overthrew our government. There's governors from every state in the Bar Association. Yes. There's delegates from every state in our bar associations. They have their own constitution. Can you believe it? It happened on 10/16/1987, like Terrence said, and it happened in Pennsylvania then. But it started in 1983 in New Jersey, and it ended in 2009. So the bottom line is this. Where do we go from here? There can be no reform until we get our constitutional rights back, until the Constitution gets rebooted.
That's right.
The problem we're having is yes, we're not being heard. We're all victims here of this whole thing. We have to round up as many of the victims and all that to tell them, hey, help is on the way. The biggest part to this whole thing is the code's broken. We know who's behind it all. Every article you read, or every article you see on TV, ask yourself 2 questions. Simple. Who's the benefit from this article being in the press? A, financially, and B, power. And you're going to start figuring out who's behind it all. But guess what? The American Bar Association is owned by the banks. They're owned by the central banks. What's up with the foreclosure crisis? How come no bankers are going to jail? Right? 48, 50 million people lost their homes. There's the bottom line right there. What are they doing now? What's the next big stunt here? They're gonna be privatizing into these charter schools, only to train the kids stupid. But what are they doing? They want to make them private, just like the privatized jails. But guess what? It's about making money. That's the bottom line. Go start tracking back who owns all these privatized jails and who's going to start owning all these privatized schools. And actually, who's behind them all? You'll see politically how they're all tied in and how some of our highest top level people in our government are the owners of them and how they're funding them and they're making money hand over fist. Another issue I have too as far as the Bar Association, they won't even acknowledge us. Terrence and I are so deep in our cases that we can't even get a lawyer to represent us because they have to follow the professional rules of conduct. Automatically, that violates our rights. So that's a major problem. We can't even get counsel if we wanted it to get paid to pay for it. I'm not up here to tell you that every lawyer and every judge is a fraud, but the bottom line is they created an industry out of injustice. The American Bar Association made scripts. So everybody going through divorces, or everybody going through foreclosure, or any cases out there, they're scripted. You have to understand, it's not you. It's nothing you did. You're in the vacuum. The scripts are written by the bar, and one lawyer knows how to play it, and just like it's served over the net to the other lawyer, and guess what? He knows how to answer it. And it's about driving you out of your money. It's about creating jobs for lawyers. That is the most sickest part about this whole thing. So the bottom line is this. Yes, we do need to gather more people that can reach out to other people, but we want good quality people that want to listen, people that want to learn, because it is a learning experience. I mean, me and Terrence have been studying law. We bounce things back and forth at one another. We teamed up quite well, and actually, there's times where we get on each other about certain avenues we each want to go with it. And it's stressful, there's no doubt about it, but it's the system that we're involved in. The fix is the most stressful out of all of it. So we have a common agenda to fix this thing. And when we get this thing fixed, it's going to give everybody their lives back. Or at least if anybody goes into a courtroom, then they're being treated with respect. That's the bottom line. Humanity, you know? The privatized prisons are nothing more, like they were saying, like the bishop was saying, more or less like a warehouse of flesh. But again, who's making the money on them? That's the bottom line. And what they want to do is they are targeting the black community, without a doubt. And I can say that, they are targeting the black community. As when Kennedy was in president, one of the reasons why they assassinated him was the civil rights movement. And actually, once it was started, they were never going to stop it again. But they had to create a rule and a mechanism to control the justice system. They had to be able to control now, with the black lawyers, now to be black judges. How are they going to control them? How are they going to control the black cops to be black chiefs of police? One of the reasons why they killed John F. Kennedy. One of the reasons. But bottom line again is, they want to control the system. Racism makes money. Racism is a huge moneymaker. So they want us divided. They want us divided. It makes money. And that's the sad part about it. So all these riots that we're seeing on the news, the really problem isn't really the police. They were trained inadequately, yes. They're trained not to recognize the constitutional rights. The bottom line is, it's really the lawyers behind the whole thing. They're the ones profiting from it. They're the ones making the money on it. And that's all I really kind of have to say. Research it and look into it. Terrence has a great website on work2/to-be-done. Or just Google up Terrence Healy and you'll get on his site. He's got a 9-year diary of the tactics that they use. But more importantly, you have to understand, it's not you. They're going to tell you it's you. They're going to tell you you're crazy. They're going to tell you you're not of sound mind. But it's not. It's the system. It's done that way purposely. It was designed that way. It was designed that way to destroy. And we have to get our rights back. Because if we don't, there is no future for any of us. I don't care what skin color or what religion you are. That's true. So God bless all of you. Continue your fight, but you've got to continue to educate yourselves along the way. And you're gonna really truly see, as some of the things I told you, if you start Googling some things up, you know, and I'm a big Kane supporter and Tom Wolfe supporter, because I don't want a revolution. I want an industrial revolution. I'm behind Tom Wolfe 100%. We got to get people back to work. We got to get the innocent people out of jails and get them back to work. We have the technology. There's no reason why we're not making our own steel here in America anymore. We have the ingenuity. We have the labor, the manpower, and the smarts. And we are, like the Bishop said, we are the laughing stock of the world. How could this great country be with the revolution and the Star Spangled Banner and the July 4th parties and Memorial Day picnics and all that? Hey, let me tell you something. It's all front. It's all farce. Truly. Our whole government is undermined by the American Bar Association. They're a government inside our government. And that's where we got to take out the trash. Thank you.